and I've been teaching her for a little while, and we've been doing film studies sometimes. But this is the first time that we were able to sit down and go over her new favorite fighter, Jaron Ennis. Let me let me get ready. So yeah, he seems like it, right? He's really good. What I really like about Jaron Ennis is he has really strong footwork, right? But he's the angles of his punches. That's what we're gonna kind of go over today because we just went over a little bit of here. Let me switch to our desktop. We went over a little bit of some of the more interesting like timings and rhythms, and we went over the rule of three. So I guess maybe let's go over that first. Um, if y'all don't know what the rule of three is, the rule of three is actually a literary device. It's something that I learned from Kaizen Master, and it applies in competition. It's very, very interesting, but it has a lot to do with rhythm, and basically in literary terms and how that works is when you write something, when you write a story, if you want something to have a lot of impact, a huge amount of psychological impact, then you put two small things and then a big thing. The big thing is even bigger because of the two small things. So like I was talking about like a sad story, right? And this is a terrible example, right? It's a terrible example, but like it's like okay, your dog died, okay, and you lost all your money. But then, and those seem like they're really bad, right? Like if you just think day to day. But then the big thing, your mom killed your dad, like like something crazy, and that's huge because you see the scale of the other two things, which has a lot to do with the rule of three, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, when we pulled this fight up, had I seen this fight? No, because I'm genius. You agree? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do agree with that one. I
I'm
agree
just
with that
looking.
one.
Yeah, I'm just looking for approval and confirmation. Because I'm insecure.
Yeah, you gotta agree with that.
I think this was around the area, right, where they had the little break. No, it's not. This is the beginning of the round. Either way, see, I can pick any time in this round, and we should be able to count and find little things that Jaron is doing. So let's do it. Yeah, we can all see. You guys can see my mouse. Wonderful. Okay, so the start of this second round, the first round was really bad for who's this other guy, Clayton. He did not have a good time. He put his high guard up, and he got jabbed to like hell. Did he not?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Jaron did switch in the first round too, but and in fact we can see he came out southpaw in this round, so that's cool. But he comes with a high guard. Look at that. Okay, and he comes with a high guard too. Now, if you notice in the first round, right, he was just running jabs all day, and basically he put his high guard up and he said, "All right, now you do it." So you remember what I told you about the third level of the rule of three, right? Because watch. Yeah, he did. Look, small thing, it's a high guard, and then he did small thing. Look, you saw the feint,
Yeah.
high guard, and then big thing. Ah, yeah. But I'm getting ahead of myself, right? That's like the third level of rule of three. We want to go back to the first level. So the first level, we're just gonna watch Jaron Ennis, and Jaron Ennis he generally does just like anything else, two things and a big thing, right? So they just reset there. That was the first thing. You saw the feint? Okay, one. Okay, double jab. So that's the second thing. And he comes forward with a hard body shot. Two. So he's on a fast rhythm right now. It's a very fast rhythm. One. High guard two. And then that's the third thing right there. See that? So he slowed his rhythm down just a tiny bit right there. I'm counting this live. Two. Now that, see, and that's one thing Jaron Ennis does, is this now gives us insight on what type of fighter he is. He looks at what you give him. He's a very good ballroom dancer. He's not a break dancer, right? He's not just gonna go out and do whatever the hell he wants to do. Yeah. He has come forward and he said, "What are you gonna do about this? What are you gonna do with this? Well, if you're not gonna do nothing, then watch this. Bam! I'm gonna open you up. And then when you do open up, I'm gonna take that and turn it into a liability. Right? I'm gonna use it against you." So he's done that so far. Now, the second level of the rule of three is scale. So now we look at like larger interactions or smaller interactions. If you notice in the beginning, we did like, you know, not in the very beginning because we skipped steps, but he did one small thing and then that combination, boom, boom, and then into a big thing, right? So now let's widen the scale a little bit more. Okay, so go back, right? That was after the first break. Okay, this will be good for when I show the third level. But let's start over here. So that's one thing, two things, three things, right? So let's count that as one thing. Let's count that right there as two things. So this third one should be big too. He should make a he made a change a little bit. He came forward if you notice. The other ones he kind of came forward a little bit, but this one, look at where the opponent is. So that was kind of the third thing on that last interaction there. All right, so that's rule of three at kind of a second level, and then third level. I'm sorry, third level is you're not just counting Ennis's things. Now we're watching this, and it's like a song. It's like an exciting song. It's like at the very beginning, the first thing he did. All right, watch this. Look at that. You saw it. I don't know it's far away, but you see the high guard, and then he also did a high guard because he's mirroring. Mirroring is not something that you like. If you start doing something at the same exact time as somebody else, shake them off. Unless you did it and they copied you, and then you want them because now you have their rhythm and timing. But for the most part, mirroring, you want to shake them off. So do something, just fucking eye feint, like look at something or a voice feint or do something. So in fact, maybe that's what he did here. So because he mirrored him, you see the feint, hard feint. So let's say one thing was him coming up with a high guard. The second thing was the hard feint. Boom. Now third thing, hard hook. That's level 3 of the rule of 3. That's what I really, really enjoy about rule of 3 and reading people's rhythms. So that was really cool. I don't know. We just decided to hop on live and show you this stuff, right? It's random. Just randomly get on here. But I also wanted to explain to her a couple of things and see what comes up as I tell you guys more. I should probably turn this down. There we go. Now, when it gets to the part where he switched again, because he's still southpaw, we'll just watch this round. This is the last round anyway. Came forward with a left hand first on that one. That was interesting. Ooh. You see the shell guard? See, he went back to a high guard here. I think he switches around here. Right here. Before that, I mean. Yeah, when he was dodging punches right here. Oh my goodness, I keep missing it. There we go. Shell guard as a southpaw. That is something that's very rare. So when someone does a shell guard, generally it works really well because the rear hand, as you can even see here, walks up right there. That's kind of a shell guard, right? Jesus. I have no control over this program. Okay, so this is a shell guard, right? So generally, right, you catch the jab with this hand. Now, keep in mind, context. This guy's not throwing any jabs because Jaron told him not to. He said, if you throw jabs, I'm going to counter you and beat you up really bad. So he's being really mean to him with that. But that's probably why he's able to use his southpaw shell. Because he doesn't have to worry about the jab. And he's controlling that space in the front because he's not doing such a good job. So, but when he does put his hand up here, even though he runs a shell, he still picks away at this hand. See, he goes to a high guard. Right? I showed you that. This is the moment that I showed you before. Right? So we saw him come high guard, and then he comes high guard. So then he does a hard feint. That was one of the hardest feints I've seen. And goes to the body. Okay. So then let's scoop. 1, 2. Okay. Big thing. 3. And he picks him up with the right hand so he can try to catch him up top with the left again. And then they get this huge break right here. And from here, this is where we were originally counting the rule of three. So, you want to count? Go. 1. So it was a disengagement. That was a big thing. That was 1, 2 again. 1, 2, right there. Let's see the high guard. So the disengagement, and then he decided to enter. That was this big thing. A lot of posts. A lot of posts. You learned about that. It's a shame Clayton didn't. Maybe he doesn't know this game, the game of fighting a southpaw. But fighting a southpaw means you have to. I'm sorry. You have to either jab. You notice the switch. You have to either jab and cover up that space in the front, right? Or I'm gonna die. Or you have to at least put your hand on top of their hand, right? So if you notice this whole time, even though Jaron is running all these different guards and stuff, he still stays on top of my man's front glove. I was actually talking to another boxing coach. He's actually a pretty technical and really good one. I can't remember his name, but he was talking about Usyk, Anthony Joshua and Usyk. And there was a video about it, and he was saying that like Joshua was controlling, and he wasn't. I was trying to show him that Usyk was controlling, and then Joshua was responding to it and trying to control that same space. That is the jockeying position, the position they are jockeying for. They're trying to get, they're trying to get their hand above their lead hand above the other one. And oh, there's Indy. Hi, Indy. And the front hand. Ooh. So he feinted pretty well there, actually. But I think this is the switch right here. So 1, 2. Okay, and so you saw the little da da da, the little ghost step. If you guys watch Barry Robinson, he's one of my favorites. That was not a ghost step. He was just kind of recovering from his throwing his left hand, but he did get a little rhythm, ba ba ba, right, da da da, and then switched into his orthodox position very smoothly.
Yeah.
And yeah. Now, if you understand the rules, remember the rules is you gotta control the jab with the front hand, right? If he was a southpaw, he would still be using this hand. But now he's orthodox. So what do? I teach you all the time. Catch the jab with the right hand, right? So it's almost like the rules still apply. And stances don't matter. Doesn't matter what stance you're in. So now, same thing, right? Jab, jab, big thing. Oh, he did a high guard that time. So he's really wanting to draw him out into something. And if he's not going to, exactly. If he's not going to, right? He said, if you're not going to do anything, look at how many interactions he's had where he's like, just not going to do anything. 2, 3. Yeah. Even before this, look at how.
That was a hard one.
Look at how active he is. Clayton, he threw one jab. He's high guard. Doesn't know what he's doing here. Yeah, he's not using a like. And this is why I never taught you high guard, right?
No, just to throw like that down.
Just for the down jab, right? Just come from a high guard position. But like the reason why is because the high guard is often inactive, and an active high guard is just a close guard for me. Because if this position right here is high guard, and then this is like when you're being active, you're catching the jab, or you're stopping something, or you're pushing them around and doing all these different moves. Well, this is close guard. Boom, boom, boom. Canelo does it like all the time. Like all the damn time. Canelo does it all the freaking time. So that's why I didn't teach you to just hold your high guard, because I don't want you to look like this. Even with a slightly active high guard like this, just the principle of using both hands. Think about it. Let's think about it. Look, he is using 2 hands to block one. Does that make any sense to you? Like, look at this. Look, he's got both of his hands. Jaron has 2.
Yeah, he didn't throw like that many punches.
Yeah. So look, since I have 2 hands, go ahead and use both your hands to stop this one hand, and then I'm gonna throw the other one where you can't see because you see his eye. His eyes are covered because he's using an inactive high guard, and then he's gonna come around with a right hook. That's a right hook. Boom! Slammed his ass.
That's hilarious.
Went right to La La Land. That's what I'm talking about. Know what I'm talking about?
Just wait for him to get up. That's funny.
Yeah, he tried to get up. Hey man, you gotta give it to him. I got up. The same thing happened to me. You remember mine?
But nah, but
That was worse. That was worse. That was worse. He didn't walk around. He was stumbling afterwards, so at least I can say that, right? I wasn't stumbling after, but yeah, I didn't love the way I got up when I did. Maybe it'll show us some highlights. That was a short fight. There's only 2 rounds, right? Okay, it's a different view here. Ooh. So again, covering your vision and taking away options. And then also, here's another case study of fighting tall. Ennis is taller, so that's good. But if you fight short, you're like against somebody that's fighting tall, like you're fighting at a disadvantage. You have to understand that. So if you understand it's a disadvantage, then you can maybe turn it into a weapon and use it. But if you don't, if you're like, yeah, I want to change your levels and staying down there, I'm like, all right, stay down there if you want to. You get rocked, get your socks rocked. Here you go. Here's a good look. Look, he sees his eyes so good, and now not so much. Look at that. He didn't see a damn thing. Right behind his ear too. So we went over, rule of 3 on several different levels, right? What do you think of that?
Put me on the spot.
I gotta put you on the spot. We're live. We're live. What do you think of that? What do you think of the rule of 3 and how it applies with combination, things like that? It's just what?
Yeah, I don't want to.
You don't want to talk. That's why we're here. That's all right. She's just here to learn. That's fine. So you guys will catch more footage of us doing film studies probably, and more training, of course. We train all the time. Are we training tomorrow? You're off tomorrow. Okay, we'll train tomorrow. When?
Wednesday?
Not tomorrow? Why? You busy? She's over here selling drugs. Too busy for me.
I gotta make the
Gotta make the
somehow.
She's over here selling drugs without me. I'm upset. I don't like being left out. But
You can join.
all right, I'll be a bodyguard. I could do that. Make sure you don't get into any trouble.
Yeah, that works.
But all right, that'll pretty much wrap it up then. I'll just cut this one off. It was only what, 19 minutes? Yeah, we can do this. This is like it's not Monday, so it's not Monkey Slap Monday. It's Super Student Sunday. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Okay, that works.
You said that works. Super Student Sunday. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming by, and we'll see you again.
Bye.